All right, today we're talking about metaphors. If you did not do the similes or look at the simile link first, go search for that document and video first and go through it because metaphors are very similar, as you'll see. There's just one slight difference, and that is the words used to create them. It is a comparison between two things. So we want to compare these two nouns. But we do not use the words like or as. So that again is a simile, and that's how a metaphor is different. They both compare two things, but it's how you go about doing it. So let's look at this example here. My brother is a rock star when he plays video games. Well, we don't see like or as, but we're comparing my brother and a rock star. Okay, and so that's a comparison to show you that when he plays video games, he's amazing. Now, just like when we talked about our similes, these two comparisons should be different. Okay, but in showing it, because he's playing video games, and unless he's playing, a Guitar Hero or some music thing, some shooter game. But man, he is so awesome. He is like a rock star when he plays that video game. Well, you can't say like though, because that's a simile. But you see it here that takes brother is a rock star, okay? Because when he plays video games. So comparing brother, he's amazing. He's amazing in video games. What can we say? He's a rock star. Okay, he's a god, something like that. So that's a really good example to come back to, especially if it makes sense to you. So comparing my brother to a rock star, it shows us that the brother must be a real expert and really maybe very popular and famous. Who knows? So we're going to show this video here real quick, just like what we had yesterday, the previous time, with similes on metaphors. All right, so now that you watched the video of metaphors, you should have gotten a lot more examples like what we talked about the simile with those videos. So come back to them as much as you need to, especially if you're wavering. But again, you've had these for years, so this is more of just a refresher, quicker, video put together. So today's activity, as we see on our document here, is in our practice. What do you call it? Packet. And so our metaphor, we want to scroll down and take care of those. Metaphors in poetry. So there's a short little poem here. What we want you to do is read the poem below, highlight. So you're going to have to, in your document that you're keeping track of, highlight the metaphor. So when they're comparing two things without like or as. So go back to that rock star example from the earlier slide. And so down here, what's the metaphor? I did not mean to zoom in. There we go. What was the metaphor in common with friendship? And so just like with the previous simile, we start filling in these gaps. And then what's the effect? What do you think the writer was going for when they were talking about this particular comparison? So just like with the video game playing brother, calling him a rock star shows you that what's the effect? That person is an amazing skilled individual. Good. I'm sorry, I'm zooming in. I don't want to zoom in. Come on, let me back out here. I'm sorry, folks. Zoom out. Okay. So that's just like yesterday, but there's only 6 there, so it's not a ton of writing, but it's more about writing with the effect and so on. The next page, there's only 3 examples here. And that would be creating metaphors. So just like before, it's identifying and then analyzing it, but then you get to create. We did that with similes, finding them, and now we create. And so here you get to take your pick of any of those visuals that are there. So pick any 3, the 3 of the 8 that are there, metaphors, and then decide what's the strongest, most unique metaphor. So we put, and here it's fun. You can draw it. If you want to drop in some sort of a picture there, that's fine. But Google Draw gives you a chance. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to actually try to scribble. It would be horrible looking if I did it. And I don't want you to spend a ton of time on this because it's not about drawing, but If you need to draw a snowflake, I'm pretty sure you could do that real quick. Stick figure and angry face. So that's why they're pretty basic. But anyways, have fun with it. But compare two things, okay, between those there. So it shows you how to draw if you needed to, if you need to come up to your directions, coming up to insert, line and scribble as you go. So there's only three that you have to do. So come up with your new comparison. So if you pick snowflake or angry face, what's that new thing, the different thing that they don't relate? Just like we talked about with the simile, the snake and a garden hose. They're very different, but yet there's a characteristic that is very similar between them. And so whatever you come up with here for these three, that's the exact same, and you can write out what your metaphor is there. So for, again, this column, the left-hand side, pick three different things, 1, 2, 3, and then come up with is, are, was, were. So you're comparing it to things that you have to come up with and create on your own and create that metaphor. So that is our discussion for today. Go back and look at our reference material as much as needed to help you with this, but that is metaphor. All right, thanks. Let me know if you have questions.